Welcome to Rauta's Underground Trio episode 41. Closer to the end we go, the bigger the numbers obviously. This time we have two bands from Finland, one from Poland, and these are all different genres. So 3 different albums, and of course according to my own opinion I'm gonna rank them worst to best, describing each band and, well, albums of course in question, and I hope you will give them a fair chance as well, just like I did. And obviously my opinion is mine only, so as a disclaimer, don't go mad and all that shit if I say something about of your favorite bands, like, oh, I like it so much and you just don't. Why don't you get it? It's my opinion, and of course my taste for music is obviously supposed to be different than yours. Would be kind of weird, awkward, cringe and all that stuff if it was the same. But that's the disclaimer. Let's start going on, and like I said, the best comes last, the worst comes first. None of these are actually bad, but you get the idea. So first we'll go to Finland with the band called Devil's Gateway, Eternal Grind. Now don't take this title as a suggestion what this genre is all about, because this ain't no grind. This is actually death doom. Doom death, doesn't matter which way you go. Okay, this is very, very tight. I'm not gonna take it out of here because sometimes if I use too much excessive force, these jewel gates are just going to, break down, and I don't want those plastic shrapnels all over here. So this is a 2-person band coming from Finland. 7 tracks, less than 28 minutes, and this is indeed doom death. Musically, you could say this is quite close to pure doom metal, but when you add those vocals into play, it becomes more like a doom death. Metal Archives, this is actually listed as dead doom / crust, and I don't honestly actually get that crust feeling here, but then again, these are of course up to individual decisions and all that stuff. The thing here is, a lot of these riffs are kind of a basic traditional, let's go doomy, with, slow pace and kind of a groovy and all that stuff. Not super dark, but more on the rougher side of things. Actually, this reminds me riff-wise a little bit of Ride for Revenge, and that is, I guess, partially because the Mr. Hale Conjure from Hale Conjure, Ride for Revenge, Hooded Manish and who knows what, he has a lot of bands, is the main songwriter here. I mean, he does pretty much all the stuff here except some of the vocals. And that, I think, is the reason why the overall production is somewhat muddy, rusty, dirty, kind of a caveman-like. And then when you combine that with a kind of a doomy riffs and slow tempos and all that stuff, it gets this kind of a crusty feeling. I get that part, but I feel this is more like dusty, rusty doom death, in the sense that you have those growlier parts and screamier parts of vocals, which definitely takes you more into, say, grindier and death metallic territories, as opposed to classic heavy metal kind of a vibing epic doom or just traditional doom. I mean, think about Black Sabbath. They ain't no growly vocals and all that stuff. Now, those who mind slow tempo music or mid-tempo metal, this might be up for your listening pleasure, but if you're allergic, once again, to certain kind of a growlier and gruntier and screamier vocals, might not be your cup of tea. I really think this band has some cool riffs, but then there's a lot of fillers as well, and when you have that kind of a demo-ish production to support the music, it gives this overall feeling that it's quite demo-ish indeed. With the first album and all that stuff, it's kind of a common. But if you don't mind it, just give it a go, and you will find, of course, links provided in the description box. I just hope that this would have more powerful sound versus the kind of a super organic and dusty 1970s. But this is just my opinion, and of course, feel free to disagree. Then we go to Poland with the debut album of this given band, which is shortened here as SOTDS. Well, this stands for Signs of the Dying Summer. Doesn't really sound too black metallic if you ask me. And this is the second album by this Polish band. And when I was listening to it, I was like, okay, this is kind of a post-blackish, this kind of atmospheric black metal. Once again, too tight jewel case, not gonna remove it from the jewel case, because you get to hear it, see it here, even with the reflections and all. So, as I was saying, kind of atmospheric take here, and melodics and all that stuff. Some people are putting it on the depressive side of black metal. I think it's a little broader sense of the term, because what I'm really saying, this is more like flirting with bands like Paradise Lost, Catatonia and whatnot, but with a black metal filter. imagine this. It's almost like if Catatonia decided to do a black metal album, or a black metal band wanted to do an album sounding like Paradise Lost, Catatonia, and all that stuff. So yes, it's kind of a depressive, it's kind of a dark, but it's kind of also like beyond the borders of black metal. Surely the vocals are right there, and in fact there is actually Catatonia cover, which probably gave me too strong of an idea why I talking about Catatonia. I was actually getting a lot of Paradise Lost vibes with certain melodies and all that stuff. But when you add corpse paints and, black metal screamy vocals and all that stuff, you definitely get kind of a, how to say, crossover or hybrid genre release such as this. In fact, this is a pretty refreshing take on the stuff, because this is not going like super dark, super sinister and all that stuff. It's not like wallowing in depression like some of those depressive, suicidal black metal acts. But when you have those certain melodies, it's like going to some kind of a state of melancholy and all, so definitely getting some of those vibes, which is the reason why I would say this is more on the post-black metal side of things, rather than black metal going just depressive and all that stuff. Nicely executed, but sometimes it's a little bit like missing the things here. I mean, there's a lot of filler parts, even if there are really, really good melodies here and there, which puts me like in the segment of saying this is a decent album. I mean, I truly like some of the ideas a lot. But when you have fillers and good ideas, the result is somewhere between. And as a result, I would say this is more like a 7. Devil's Gateway, by the way, more like a 6. Anyway, I am not too fancy about these perfect scores, because whenever I say something about score and all that stuff, some people are like, oh, you didn't like it this much. You're focusing too much on the numbers, the scores and whatnot, when in essence you should really check out the music in case you think this genre is up for your liking, and then you figure out the rest. Last but also not the least, that is the best of the pile is by Dark Elite with their second album, Anti-Spiritual Void. Devotion. Their previous album was already flirting with the idea of void, so maybe these guys are some kind of void junkies, for the lack of better word. And now we have finally a jewel case, which is easy to take away, and luckily so, because this one, it doesn't have the transparent jewel case. So this album already came out a little bit earlier, 2023, while these two are more on the autumnal size, I think September releases. And here we have the second album by the band, which is like 5 years later than the previous one. And this band has been there already some 12 years. Not the most active one when it comes to releasing new music or, well, going live. Pretty cool album, even though kind of a messy, chaotic, but there's something that talks to the sci-fi side of me, the nerdic side, and I'm like, okay, let's do it. Musically, you could first imagine this is some kind of a modern take on black metal. I mean, there's certain kind of black metal melodies right there to just cater to your needs and all that stuff. But when you add more and more of those growly vocals to the things, and even some of the riffs and parts of the songwriting, you start getting more on the death metal side of things here, so resulting more like a modern take of Black Death. No, this is not the kind of a war metal combination of black and death metal, but more on the modern side of things. If you're thinking Behemoth now from Poland, you're not too far away, but also I have to say these are quite different animals from the same genre. So maybe the same part of the zoo area, but two different animals. Like one is a lion and one is a tiger. So if you go far enough, you'll say, hey, they are feline creatures both. Exactly. So there are lots of similarities with Behemoth and this one. Both are the kind of felines with, fangs and teeth and, cat-like eyes and all that stuff. Neither of them really purr like the way that cats do. But there are similarities and also, something that really puts them in the different boxes. Dark Elite is more about melodic riffs and very, very modern production. Also a lot of growly vocals, not satanic themes either. But roughly, if you are coming from the, angle, corner, whatever place, that you're like, hey, Behemoth is my cup of tea, and I like how they put together those two different styles, and also are not shy of using modern ways to execute whatever they are doing, and, sounding more like 2020s rather than say 1990s or early 2000s, this is roughly where you go to. Now these guys have really cool melodies here and there, but also a little bit missing the hit and memorability factors, which is why I don't call it straight out really good album. I mean, it's good, definitely, and that's why this is the best of the pile, but much like with their previous albums from 2018, it could be really a more catchy one. And now I'm getting this call in my, earpod somewhere to say, hey, black metal, death metal is not supposed to be catchy. And like, I don't know, check out bands like D-Side, Morbid Angel, early Behemoth, or whatever, or even a lot of black metal bands, and you get what hit material means. Mother North just told me, send you your regards, whoever you are. Now, jokes aside, I'm saying this could be more memorable, but still, lots of good melodies, nice growly parts, some aggression, some modern take on black and death metal, and that's what you get with Dark Elite. So once again, a good album, not exactly better than the first one, but kind of keeping the flame going on since the very first album. If you like that much, you are going to like this one. If you never heard the first one, well, you're safe to check it out after this one, because they are basically carved from the same stone, let's put it that way. So both are good to go if you like one or the other, and that's it. Now off you go to check out the bands. You will find links provided in the description box, and in case you were watching this on TV and unable to see those links, now use your smart device or computer to check out these bands: Dark Elite, Devil's Gateway, and Signs of the Dying Summer. And off you go, enjoy some good music, and let's hope these are worth your time. Of course, always looking for your comments and all that stuff, questions. Let me know if I can help you with some of these, whatever they are, and see you with more videos coming your way. Bye bye.